Hello there and welcome into a brand new episode of the Drop Spot. It's great to have you here. I'm really happy. You can see by the smile on my face because a brand new season has dropped as well. Chapter 5 Season 4 is here and we're going to talk all about that on the show. Of course, it's me, Adam Savage, back here in the hot seat. Now, I'm an optimist. You know me at this point. However, if the world was full of absolute doom, there's two people I'd love by my side. And tonight, they're right here with us. It's Levan2K and Resub as well. Join me here on the show. Fellas, it is great to have you here talking all things Fortnite competitive. Reese, I'm going to start with you, my friend. How are you? How is life for you right now?
It's good. It honestly could not be better. I have quite literally zero complaints. Fortnite's fun. Content's good. There's nothing to complain about. I'm also obviously in good company too.
I'm trying to get that resub, man. Everything's going swell for resub, clearly. I mean, things are not too bad for Levan2K either. But yeah, no, honestly, like we said, new season vibes always help with the overall mood, I'd say.
Yeah, there's an energy. I think it's everyone just excited for the new season. And we're going to, as you say, break it all down for you guys. Whether you're listening or watching at home, wherever you are, we have got you. Trust us. We're going to discuss a lot of things on this particular episode, of course, with Reese and Levan here. And their extraordinary analytical mindset, too, to break it all down for us. We've got Champions Road to talk about. A brand new way for you guys to get involved in comp Fortnite, which is really exciting. We're going to talk about the brand new season, of course. And we have 2 weeks left before FNCS Global Championships kicks off, and I'm going to get a recap on that, remind ourselves who's there, what's going to go down, how excited we are about that as well. Fellas, I think we just jump straight into Champions Road. This is exciting. I'll actually ask you this. I'll go to you here, Reese. Finish the sentence for me. It's a new season, and that means...
More tournaments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. More tournaments and more prizes, Levan. That's what we want to see here.
I mean, I ain't complaining about more prizes. I might not be winning them, but I ain't complaining.
I was going to say, you ain't making them.
You know, this season, that's my goal. I'm trying to win some of the prizes as well myself. Come on, you got to support me, Aries.
What kind of thresholds are we talking, though? Like, you know, top 4K, 1K, 50, like, where are we looking here? Where are we cooking?
I'm ruling out the actual money, and I'm just going for cosmetics. I saw,
okay.
You know, any
that's
cosmetics
valid. That's
I can
valid.
win, I'm taking.
Fellas, if I manage to log in to one of these tournaments alone, that is a dub for me. Just getting in the game. That's massive for me personally. For you guys, this season we have Champions Road. Now, it's running until 29th September as a celebration of competition. For the first time, there is a back bling and emote that can be earned through quests in tournaments. So do you think, guys, I'm going to ask you, Reese, I'll start with you here. Is this going to encourage a lot of players to try competitive Fortnite? Those kind of like thinking about it, not quite kind of like jumping with 2 feet. Is this the opportunity to do that?
Yeah, I think cosmetics cups, like if you look at the player base numbers for almost any tournament, that when they're publicly available, that is, the cosmetic cups are nearly always some of the highest participants of anything out there whatsoever at all. And there's reasons, like people like Levan said already, he's going to be jumping in trying to get anything. But, you know, when it comes to higher level tournaments, you might look at that and be like, top 50 prize, and I might not be able to get that. But if it's a wide threshold where you can get yourself like a bit of a cosmetic, it seems a lot more achievable, and that's because it is. So it's a really good way to get lots of new players into comp and, you know, keep people like us trying to get those as well.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where I think people highly underrate how big the community is for people who just love cosmetics in Fortnite. Like, people who just want every single outfit. You know, don't mean to flex here or anything, but when I had the Levan2K Tackle Time bundle,
Here we go.
I was introduced.
Oh, yeah.
I was introduced to that big community because instantly I just had like thousands and thousands of people who were just like, oh my goodness, Levan, thank you so much for bringing back this one outfit that I didn't even know existed, to be honest. But yeah, like that community is huge. And like, again, you're going to have so many of those people who just want to get involved in tournaments to try, you know, win whatever they can.
I remember you very distinctly telling me that a lot of them were also asking you, who is Levan2K and why has he got a bundle at the same time?
Yeah, we ignore that part of the story.
Who's this Levan guy?
Who is
got
this
a bundle?
They know now.
Now, everyone knows who Levan is now. Everyone, the world over. We start this week actually with 5 FNCS Community Cups where 3,000 duos win a cosmetic bundle every single one. Now, you should be playing as many as possible, guys. Every single one of these, as you can. There's one not to miss. It's the Champion Kuno and Renzo, the Champion FNCS Cup on Sunday, because as well as the outfits, you could also win the FNCS Axe of Champions. Levan, this is huge.
I lost my mind when I saw that, honestly. After hearing Zeke hype up that pickaxe for years and years, and just having to sit on the sideline and just look from a distance, dreaming, hoping, wishing that one day maybe I could get the chance. You know, I've been at tournaments, you know, where like there's pro players there, and like some of them who have won it and have it, I'm like, yo, can I like play on your account just so I can feel it, you know? I just want to feel it in a creative match, you know? But now the fact that I actually have the opportunity to have it for myself, oh my goodness, I am locked in.
Yeah, I will be locked into that tournament for the same reason, but most importantly because I also want to make content with it. I need that for the screenshots. I need it for the clips. I can do historical clips with it. I can pretend I had it before everyone else. Hopefully I earn it before everyone else at the same time and don't have to get it later on. We'll see. But yeah, I need it for the content. Let's be real.
I can just imagine Reese at home and just spinning around the same shot over and over every angle. But hey, I respect it. All about the content, man. I think it's really exciting. I mean, I imagine you two as well. I mean, everyone I think listening and watching this is probably going to wonder: do you guys squad up from time to time? Can you two kind of flex on the world and say, look, we know who's boss here. I mean, look. I get that the classic Levin chin stroke, the beard stroke there. He's confident. Levin, I feel the confidence.
I mean, we played many tournaments together. Typically, when there's a squad tournament, Reese and I are on the same squad. So, you know, there's some history there. You know, he won't tell you about the damage stats and the numbers and who's, you know, the better player typically on the team. But, you know, we do play if that's what you want to
Okay. There was one tournament, and that tournament in which Levin carried the damage stats, I will add, I'll happily say that, was the Nitro Fist one, where he was just running through everyone. Damage after damage, clip after clip. It was an impressive tournament. I'll give him that. I checked all of the damages and the stats of the tournaments after that, and I decided not to mention it to him because he's on such a high horse from his success early on in the season that I didn't want to burst his bubble, you know? But now that you've brought it up at this moment, I just guess I'm going to have to say I did outdamage him for all of the rest, yes.
It's flying high with a Nitro Fist, literally, on that damage stat from that one particular tournament. I love to see it. And for you guys at home as well, don't forget, if you don't win the axe, it will be available in the item shop from the September the 4th as well, which is amazing. You get the opportunity to actually get this, add it to your collection, and have it that you can actually get this and flex it as much as you want out there on the in competitive, which is awesome. Reload cups as well here. I want to talk about reload cups too. Throughout the rest of the season, there's going to be solo victory and duo cash cups as always, but also some exciting new additions such as reload cash cups for the first time. Reese, I mean, these reload modes, I mean, are they going to be a big success in reload tournaments, do you think? What's your vibe on this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a mode itself, Reload is incredibly fun just to jump in and play. I think what we'll see in the original iteration of this will not be what it will look like in next season or maybe the season after that, because the mode right now is, you know, it's just been designed for fun. And when you throw it into a tournament, you don't know what it's going to look like. You know, you don't know if there's going to go into loads of heal-offs. You don't know how the spawning system's going to work when it comes to tournaments, and if players will have ways to like take advantage of that, which is some of the things I'm predicting. Regardless, if those things can be iterated on in the future, they're going to be such fun tournaments because I absolutely love playing Reload a lot. So I'm very, very ready to jump in. And they are squads this season. So, you know, as me and Levin are just talking about, we're going to have to see who goes toe-to-toe, who can go harder in a new format this time, you know?
I think we all know the answer to that one. I will be honest. I'm really looking forward to this just because it gives me vibes of like when we first got like zero build all them years ago, right? And people really love zero build. People were playing zero build a bunch. And then like we started getting zero build tournaments and like instantly it was like a hit, right? And like Reese said, there's some growing pains there. There's things you got to figure out meta-wise and all of this and that. But ultimately, now they're like a staple of competitive Fortnite, right? Everybody plays zero build cups here and there. So I'm really hoping Reload can be there. And I believe it can be that because it is so fun to play. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these Reload cups look.
Absolutely, yeah, spot on. I mean, this is the great thing. There are so many different opportunities now. It can see that every season there are new ways for you guys to get involved and play competitively. Other platforms as well. I want to highlight some other platforms. A big season for console and mobile players too. I want to kind of really highlight that. There's a Cypher PK PlayStation Cup next weekend with the Cypher Cosmetics to win, and also only a mere $250,000 prize pool, which isn't. Well, it's not bad, is it? I mean, it's not bad.
It's all right.
All right.
I mean that I mean, it's not. I mean, Reese, you're living the high life now. I
course.
imagine you in like a kind of like almost like a Tony Stark like penthouse looking over the London skyline now with your
it's above
$250
that.
million. It's
Yeah,
above that. Right.
Yeah.
So you're used. I mean, that for you, that's a drop in the ocean, but still, that's hefty for the average Joe.
It's change, chump change, I would say even. But so it's okay. It's okay for everyone else, I guess. Yeah.
Can you imagine Cypher sees that and goes, guys, Reese call it chump change. Let's up.
You gotta get half a mil. Come on.
Let's just get the
You know?
half a
It's chump
million.
change
baby.
for Cypher PK as well, to be fair. So, you know what I mean? He'd probably agree with me.
I mean, it's reload cash cups will be separated into PC, console, and mobile. I'm gonna ask you guys a question actually, because I know obviously I mentioned Fortnite Mobile. Have you guys played much Fortnite Mobile? Like, Levin, was everything that you kind of really dabbled in? I mean, we've all tried different things. I have once or twice. I've jumped in. I mean, I'm keen to know if you guys have tried it. Is it exciting though that that's kind of like a platform that is really being kind of like championed as being kind of one that people can get back into as well?
So I can barely do well on a mouse and keyboard. So I leave the mobile stuff to the real gamers out there. I have tried it way back in the day, and I'm excited to see it back just because like some of the most iconic moments for me personally in Fortnite competitive history have come from mobile, funnily enough, right? Like one of my favorite images in Fortnite is an image of a former competitive player called Jenks, right? He was an EU player. And he was playing a mobile tournament, sat in his garden with his like mobile device, just chilling on like a beanbag in the garden, sun out, just vibing. And he's like making thousands from a mobile tournament. And it was like just unreal to me. And so anybody who can play and win money in, one of these mobile cups in like the most obscure place possible, to me is a winner.
You missed out a crucial key to that, which was the next tweet, which was him losing lots of placements because he forgot to charge his iPad and he wasn't able to load into like 2 games, which makes that even more iconic because he's just forgot to charge the device up. But
make sure you charge your device, guys.
Charge it up. If you play on keyboard and mouse, charge your mouse, charge your controller, charge whatever it is. But I have tried mobile. I see all the clips of the guys on tablets who are just doing this, and it looks insane. I have tried it because I want to get shots. Like if I need another player, I load up Fortnite on my phone and have it on my PC and I have it on my laptop, so I can have 3 characters to like test things on and to get clips. I can barely walk on mobile. So all of these people who are nuts on it, I have the utmost respect for you.
Fair play.
I do, yeah, fair play. And I guess that's a real kind of like thing that we should all take away from this, which is plug sockets. Find them. In the garden, it's rare. They're rarities in gardens, but hey, that's what adapters are for. That's what extension leads and cables are for. So, hey, you heard it right there on the drop spot. We've got lots of other things. In fact, do you know what's really cool? I want to talk about Rocket Racing and Fortnite Festival as well, because you can earn cosmetics there, and you can also place in Champions Road, which originated in Rocket League. If you weren't both such hardcore Battle Royale players, and I want to stress hardcore, particularly you, Levin, hardcore here. I want to know which of the two would you guys be playing more of? Would it be kind of like Fortnite Festival? Would it be Rocket Racing? Reese, where would you lean if you had a chance?
I'm a festival man, My root.
Really?
I am a guitar player, so my roots go back, and I got into it by playing guitar games originally, which then got me into guitar, and now I could come full circle where I could get rid of the guitar and just go back to like Fortnite Festival instead, and like fully commit to that because I am awful at that instrument, and no one should ever have to hear that again. So at least the songs will sound good if I play them on festival.
That's interesting. I'm like the complete opposite. I'm absolutely useless in festival, and like I tried it like the day it came out, and I was like, this is just not for me. Rocket Racing though, I was locked in. I was adamant at a point that I was gonna like commit my life to being like #1 Rocket Racing player on Earth, and then I quickly realized that would probably be unwise of my time. But I'm really excited for this now because there are people who are much better at Rocket Racing than I am, but I'd definitely be more of a Rocket Racing kind of guy myself.
Okay. Quite a tag
What about you,
team
Adam?
too.
Come on, what about you? What about you?
I would lean. Do you know what? I think as I get older, my fingers aren't working as well as they used to. I used to be quite the. I used to be. I was going to try and use some kind of like music terminology then to describe myself. I don't know any because that's how
A virtuoso.
I am.
You could say a virtuoso.
Yeah,
there you go.
Thanks.
Yes, yeah.
Thanks. I was trying to find something like rock something or other, but like rock. I couldn't think of anything in the moment. That's how non-musical I am, really. I appreciate music, can't play it so well, but Rocket Racing, I think I'd really lean to 11 there. I think I definitely would be. I think I could always hold my own in that kind of in that situation. But Festival, not so much, perhaps. I know some people like you out there, Reese, who are just absolutely thrashing it out there. I just
of course. Well, you've not seen me play, so please stick with that delusion that I'm thrashing it out. Yeah.
For you guys as well, we're always keen to hear what you're kind of preferring, what you're playing, and we'd love to see you guys kind of comment and get involved as well. Do enjoy Champions Road and everything coming your way, because there's so many ways you can earn cosmetics and all sorts and prizes, and it's a fantastic time to be competing within the Fortnite for that world and space. Speaking of competition, there is one that is around the corner. There is one that is absolutely huge. We've been working towards it all year with a multitude of majors, a trio of them, and it's Global Championships. This takes place in 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks, in Fort Worth, Texas, folks. It's happening in Texas. Get your tickets. There are still opportunities for you guys at home, with your listening, with your watching right now. If you can be there, be there. We will talk all about it right now as you kind of break it all down and recap what's happened thus far to get to these global championships. But to be there in the building, you can go to fn.gg/tickets, find tickets to get there, be involved, as it's an experience like nothing else. You guys have had this chance to be there, before in the like the in-person event kind of I was gonna say environment. And it's absolutely incredible. But I want to talk about the players who are actually taking part and how we kind of got there in the first place. Kind of remind people at home as well what this is and how we got there. What more can we ask for the Global Championship, Reese? Let's talk about how the teams got there. What's been any particular highlights? I want to maybe get that to Major 1 first and foremost. The big headlines from Major 1, which is right back at the beginning of the year. What were the kind of biggest moments for everyone at home that kind of really kind of stick out for you?
So you want to test my memory as much as humanly possible by asking something that's more than 4 days old. But yes,
that's what
I can do that for you. I can do that for you.
This is all set up for you, and to make sure you're still cutting the mustard.
Embarrassed as possible. Oh, okay, that's fine. So for me, most importantly, I think Malibuca Mustache, obviously they won EU. I'm an EU, ride or die, of course. But I did an interview with Malibuca after they won. I was doing like a story. I wanted to investigate. I wanted to look into, the mind of the players, which is something you don't often actually really get to look into all that often. And one of the things that I most in particularly found interesting from just listening to them is I always wonder, like, what is the sequence of practice like for a pro player? Like, how do you actually become a pro? And like, what is it that motivates players to be like the best that they absolutely possibly can? And ironically, I asked Malibuca this, and he was like, I like playing Fortnite, and I play a lot of it, and I'm really good at it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And it sounds not that deep, because you just play and you get really good. But when you start to look into the psyche of a lot of other players who fall off, and maybe at certain times they dip, they come up again, a lot of that is due to like motivation and burnout and things like that. But for Malibuca and Mustache, they're two players who just really enjoy playing the game a lot. So they just play the game a lot, and they get really, really good at it, and they don't have a lot of these like dips in motivation. If you ask almost any pro who's the people who play the most, it's just them, and they won FNCS. Right. So it's 2 and 2 makes 4.
I think it was really satisfying as well, just because that was obviously one of like the most iconic duos we've had in Fortnite, especially like in the EU scene. And then they had split up all of last year, right? And then so like getting together and finally being able to like do that duo justice and be like, yeah, like they are FNCS champions. They've had one. Obviously Mustache had already gotten one, right? But for Malibuca to get his first, like Malibuca is such a legendary Fortnite player that it felt right for them to get their first. And the way they did it as well, right? 1 point difference between them and Queasy and Thomas to edge first place. Crazy finals over on EU. I do want to show some love to some other regions though, because I know Reese and we get a lot of accusations of being like EU biased, EU dominant.
That's because we are.
We are, but
so
I do like to show some love nowadays. Now, back in the day, 11 never used to show love to any other region other than EU, but nowadays I do. And I have to say, Cal Gamer winning back-to-back FNCSs in Middle East. This guy is just ice cold. Like he's been on a crazy run all year long in the Middle East. But I think the word they use for it nowadays is his aura. There's something about his aura that is just different gravy, where like he just seems to win non-stop. It's almost like he just doesn't care. It's just another day in the office for him. So big ups to Cal Gamer doing the job in Major 1.
The one thing that worries me about those guys, though, is that every single Middle East team who's gone to an international LAN has bottom 10'd. So I have been seeing the aura. It's unmatched. I've been seeing the EU players talk about the aura of a Middle East team, which has literally never happened ever. So this is a true first. So they might be an absolute specimen. I hope they are, because I want to see it. I'm always hyping up the small regions, as much as I also say the opposite, but I will hype them up at the same time. The biggest issue for a lot of the Middle East teams is their FNCS Grand Finals. You know, the caliber of player just is nowhere near a world stage. So their level of practice, you know, they come to the biggest stage, which will be in 2 weeks, and they've not faced anything close to that ever. So I really want to see how these kind of guys practice and fare up against the biggest, the best of the best in obviously 2 weeks in globals.
Yeah, I had a chance to interview Cal Gamer recently, and the guy doesn't give too much away. He's very kind of like very composed.
Just,
doesn't kind of share. And you're thinking that could be a real kind of I guess give the upper hand in some ways. It doesn't really show too much emotion, so you can like, what's he thinking? What's going on in his head there? But clearly, back to back's impressive. We saw, you know, one more team I want to kind of highlight as well. Kind of we have to talk about, you know, alongside Alex and Worthy as well, who, you know, qualified OCE. You know, players that have done so, you know, done a multitude of things in the past as well, kind of competitively, and great to see them in one of those smaller regions. But Cold and Acorn as well, like both players have done it, you know, so many times in the past. We kind of like talk about them so often, but Cold in particular, I mean, Levin, this guy is just exactly what he said, what it is on the tin. Cold, ice cold.
Yeah, I have been giving Cold his flowers all year long, and even before that as well. I mean, some of the heights he reached in 2023 were just unbelievable. Some of the best, like in terms of like individual peaks, the level of Fortnite I was watching from him a lot of the time last year, I was like, this is the best I've ever seen from anybody. And we come into this year and it's always like, can a player maintain that? Can they upkeep that? You know, there was a lot of question marks about whether Cold was, you know, grinding the game as much, or whether he was still as committed to the game. And then they come through in Major 1 and he is back to winning ways, back to the same old Cold we know and love. And big ups to Acorn as well for always being able to stay on it and being able to be locked in. It was funny because obviously these guys also landed at Fencing Fields in Major 1, which was where Malabuka Mustache won FNCS from in EU, right? So some cool parallels there between the two regions. But Acorn and Cold, you know what you're gonna get from them. On the first drop spot we did this year, Adam Savage, do you remember what you asked me? You asked me, who do I think is going to win the global championships?
Yes,
and
I
do you
did.
remember who I said?
I did. Yes, I did. You said Acorn and Cold.
And then they went and won that first major, and I'm still very hopeful for them to do well at the global championships this year. So I've been on that hype train all year long.
Yeah, they're nuts, insane, absolutely. And I think like Cold individually, you know, obviously we'll give Acorn his props too, but we're just going to talk about Cold instead because he's way better. But when you look at Cold and the ability he has, he is one of like 3 or 4 players who you could say is just like the best player in the world. And there would be so many good arguments for it. There are a lot of other people out there. We're not talking the GOAT stats, but just right now, the best player in the world, Cold, you know, they're up there with names like Vino, Peterbot, and the such. So, you know, every single time I watch some VODs of his, I just see the most insane clips that I'm not seeing almost anyone else do in endgame.
Yeah, I gotta say, Cold and Acorn as well. Good to chat to. Good positive energy as well. Like good people. Which I think you know. I think you're spot on there, Levin. I think it's gonna be interesting. I think they're gonna progress and do very well come globals, and they've definitely got a massive chance there. But that was simply Major 1. Major 2. Let's lean into that as well. This is kind of began as well, Lev. It began the kind of Peterbot and Poyo dominance. We just saw it was just ridiculous what they kind of managed to do there, and back to back. But they were literally unstoppable in that particular major.
I mean, we've been blessed this year because we've had so many heights, but none higher than Peterbot and Poyo, because they showed us the best performance in an FNCS ever. Like, they were completely unplayable. It almost didn't feel real at times, because you almost start. I know towards the end of the season, right? Like, they had a lot of people almost rooting against them of like, nah, surely they're not just going to keep doing this, man. Nah, when it gets to grand finals, nah, they can't keep doing it. Yes, Resub was definitely one of them. And, you know, you get to grand finals and, yeah, we're just going to break all the records, except for Vino's and Queasy's 6 out of 12. But other than that one, we're just going to break all the records for an FNCS, you know? So, yeah, Peterbot and Poyo, I mean, Reese mentioned, you know, best player in the world and all this and all that. Peterbot, I think, has been the name that rings across all year long of like, this is the de facto best player in the world. Poyo, the run he's been on, because again, he doesn't get enough flowers, I feel like he has been so consistent in his FNCS career since bursting onto the scene last year. And yeah, their dominance in Major 2 was something we might never see ever again.
It's true. Especially it expanded way outside of just FNCS as well. It went to every Cash Cup. It just went to every solo Cash Cup. It was any tournament that was there. They just basically won everything. And it's funny because they made my job as an analyst and content creator so boring. Because I was like, mate, they're just going to win it all. It's like, I know they're going to win it. I did one video on them at the start of the season. And then that whole video was just like, yeah, just apply that to the next Cash Cup, to the next Cash Cup, to FNCS qualifiers, and to Grand Finals. It's just like they just kept doing the same thing. It kept working because they were just better than absolutely everyone else. And I was like, you know what? They're the talk of the town for the whole season, and I'm happy to talk about them for the whole season. Although, you know, me and Levin did, I think, probably say their name a record amount of time for players.
Too many,
across the course of a season, to the point where we were like, hey, someone else has got to start doing something here. So we got to get some more talking points. You know, it's getting dry.
Well, they were super dominant, but I think Major 2 was we saw a lot of the kind of like the team the duos we would consider kind of ones that would definitely be in the kind of global championships. So Cami and Seti qualify, Cooper and Kanada went through as well, Ritual, you know, there was a lot of teams. I mean, Swizzy and Vanyak as well. I mean, Swizzy SDEU player, Levin, is there a shout for that?
My good friend next to me here, Resub, I keep referencing it. He said a couple months ago, are we in the Swizzy era?
Yes.
And I feel like the answer is just yes. This guy has been on a tear, and his win in Major 2, I think, really put him on the global map of like one of the best players in the world. Clearly, he should have already been there, but at least after their win in Major 2, it sort of put them there. Obviously, the way in which they won, landing at Brawlers Battlegrounds, they obviously had the wings, they had that advantage on the rest of the lobby that other people weren't so locked into. But they used it so well, and I was really happy not just seeing Swizzy do well, but on a personal note, Vanyak doing well was really satisfying for me, just because he's been one of my personal favorite players for years now. I remember back in Chapter 3 days, right, when me and Shia Wager would be casting all the all the EU finals. It became like a running gag between me and Shia that, oh, Vanyak's on the screen, we're about to see a solo clutch, like we're about to see something crazy now. And they just both didn't disappoint. You could argue they won the grands off of great play and whatnot, but they also run the grands off of just great solo clutches, right? Vanya had 2 amazing solo clutches. Swizzy had a couple really good ones as well. Like, all round, the performance race was spectacular.
Yeah, we are in the Swizzy era, and I want to see it at Globals, assuming we'll both see them there. Fingers crossed. Because right now, it's like, a lot of people didn't give Swizzy credit last year, and he was still arguably one of the best players then. It's just it was kind of hidden. Like the one in FNCS last year, with a player where he was significantly better than, if you look at some of the, if you want to talk about damage stats, look at some of those. They were crazy. And then now playing with Vanyak, he's on, and more, I think this is the first time he's played with a player that's like of his caliber. And it's just showing in the results. It is truly insane. I think this, in terms of like, I'm trying to find the right way to word it, but in terms of just like skill and just like raw firepower, talent, there's the word. That's a really easy one I should have thought of. But just in terms of like raw talent, these two, this is probably just like the most talented team, at least in EU. We can probably just say it for Peter Bumpoil for any, but yeah, unreal.
Well, look, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they do on the global stage. I mean, we obviously Major 3 as well. We have 31 qualifying spots in Major 3. I want to ask you just for one duo that qualified Major 3 that you're excited about, each for moving on. Kick us off, Levin. A duo that qualified that you think could go as far, as top 5 perhaps, come globals.
I was really a big fan of a couple of different teams. I'll give you two. I know you asked for one, but I'll give you 2 brief.
Okay,
2 really quick ones. Clicks and Veno, big fan of those guys. Seeing their run last season was so fun to see Clicks being a duo where it was like, he could actually win an FNCS. This is crazy. And then on EU, a more low-key one, I'd say Ping and Watt. They were so good throughout the season, so underrated. And, landing at the Underworld, at the Global Championships, I could see them doing really, really well.
Yeah, I think, obviously we could say Flixie Vico, they won, right? But if we're going more of a sleeper pick, something like that, I mean, they're not really that much of a sleeper, let's be real, but Batman Boogan Rapid had one of the most unreal seasons last season. genuinely, like, they got very much so overshone by like a lot of the incredible teams who were doing well, like Pierre and Poyo and the big names, but like they had one of the best seasons of all time. It just wasn't as good as Pierre and Poyo's previous one, so no one really cared as much. But it was genuinely earth-shattering, so I hope they can perform that on LAN too.
All right. Well, if you are wonderful drop spot community out there as well, we mentioned loads of teams there. Lots of teams. There's obviously so more we didn't get a chance to talk about, but you guys at home, let us hear your picks. Who do you think is going to go all the way and claim the largest share of that $2 million prize pool? We'd love to hear your comments. I remember, again, tickets. There is a chance to be there in the flesh to watch it all unfold in Texas and Fort Worth. fn.gg/tickets. That's fn.gg/tickets. Get it done. Oh, fellas, I'm excited. Literally just over 2 weeks away. It's crazy how quickly it comes around. We're looking forward to that. Right, of course, we have to talk about Chapter 5, Season 4. This is it's just happened very recently. The brand new season has gone live. Initial reactions, very quickly. Reese, what do you like about it so far? What are you enjoying?
Fighting meta. I love the fighting meta right now. Every weapon is useful. Everything seems like I pick it up from a chest and I'm just like, yep, this is it. I can use this. I can fight with it. The weapon, the ARs are balanced all with each other. The shotguns are all balanced. They all have their place. Every item feels like it's something you can use. The jetpack right now has so much mobility you can use in a fight, which I have literally played 9 hours straight of ranked yesterday, and I have not done that in many seasons. So I'm a fan. Let's just put it that way.
He's been locked in, to say that.
Too locked in. Yeah. Locked in.
Maybe too locked in.
I'm winning the X of Champions on Sunday. That's all I'm saying.
I hope so. I really hope so. Otherwise, this is going to look really bad for you. You've been very confident.
I'll just buy it. If not, don't worry.
Probably, yeah. No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I know we've spoken about this a bit already, Reese, as we've gamed and whatnot, but it's like that feeling of you get something out of a chest and you can just use it. Like, I feel like in every season there's always a couple things where you're like, nah, I ain't carrying this. But like everything this season is like, yeah, I'll use it. This is fun to use. And on top of that, it's like just being able to like pick what you want to use based off of like your play style, like how you want to play. There's so much like expression in play style and how you can actually loot and choose your inventories this season. So I'm seeing so many people carry a bunch of different things. The shotgun meta has been really fun when you're talking about fighting there, Reese, right? Everybody's carrying different shotguns because all three of them are like very viable and very useful depending on how you want to play. So yeah, this season's been a bunch of fun.
What shotgun you running?
I'm running the hammer pump.
My guy.
I like the big damage.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Have you guys, looking about the kind of the wider picture as well, you mentioned like locked in Reese, kind of POI wise as well for you guys. Are there particular POIs you're kind of focusing on? Kind of the new ones? Any way kind of think would be best for tournaments? I mean, Levin, I hear you chuckle. Where's the dominant one for you?
Well, I used to be the kind of guy that liked to, explore the new POIs a bunch. That used to be my gimmick. But since I've been playing a lot more tournaments this year, I'm just sort of locked into my actual competitive drop spot. So I'm sadly
still an island off the edge of the map. Is that what you're trying to say?
Not me. I gotta land someone's loot, man. Come on, I gotta take all the advantage I can get. I have just been locked into Brawler's Battleground still. But the new spots have been cool. Like the raft, I landed there once and I was instantly like, this is not for me. Not because it's not a great POI, but there's just too much going on. Too many chests, too many players, all the different like AI bots or whatever. I was just like, I'm lost in this POI. But if you're good enough, I'm sure it's an absolute blast.
Yeah, I am not. Also, in case anyone was had that question there, I will not be landing at the raft any games this season. But in terms of like particular POIs, I think this is one of the. There's a stark difference between this season and last season, because last season it's like everything good was in the south side of the map and what was then the new biome in like the sand. Now though, it's like there are a lot of obviously the two mythic POIs are in the north and then another one to the west, which is the raft. But every POI is like valid because a lot of the ones that don't have mythics or any bosses to fight there have a lot of the Avengers chest in them too, which have a much higher chance of giving you something like one of the jetpacks, which is the mobility item this season. So it's like if you're just landing at any POI this season, you're already at an advantage. Last season I was one of those guys who was landing like a split drop, no POI, but this season, like I don't know exactly where I'm gonna go, but I might just have to land on 11 at Brawlers because I'm not gonna lie, it might be cooking there.
Yeah, you're not beating me there, trust me. Me and
Yeah, it's because
I've got you and PJ locked down.
I'm not down in your low elo lobbies. Get out of there, okay? I've seen the off spawns. Mate, I've seen the match histories. I get it.
Brother, you don't want smoke with us at Brawlers Battlegrounds. I'm telling you that much. You come Brawlers Battlegrounds, you're cooked. It's over.
Okay. We'll see.
I'm relishing this fighting talk, lads. I'm relishing this. I mean, it's cool as well. Obviously, new bosses. You've got Emma Frost, Doombot, Mysterio, with the medallions with the reveal, Cypher and the stealth. Even Mythic's Burst, Striker AR, the Monarch Pistol, the Sovereign Shotgun. Anything again, Reese, that's kind of like jumps out at you, kind of like you fun stuff that you've enjoyed, kind of bosses in fighting against, or any kind of the new bits that you've rocked around in your loadout.
I think the big takeaway outside of the Emma Frost medallion from the raft is that none of these items feel like game winners immediately, right? Where, last season and some of the maybe criticisms, maybe some of the previous seasons, where it's like, these feel really strong, and when I have them, I feel like I have such an advantage over some of the other teams. But now this season, I'm like, okay, if I have a siphon coin, I mean, I'm not getting any elims, so what use is that to me, right? If I grab like the Mythic Shotgun, it's not like super like really strong. It's just really good. It still feels really balanced. So I think this season in particular is the one where almost every item, even when they're super powerful and worth fighting over, I'm still like, yeah, this is really strong, but it fits the game so perfectly. So out of all of them, I'm just a happy man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, are you a reveal medallion appreciator? Is that your
I'm a
your
reveal
go-to?
medallion appreciator. Absolutely.
Okay.
So the one from Raph from Emma.
Yeah.
The
was
thing
gonna
is,
say-
like in endgame, I ranked it number 1 earlier today when we were having a chat as the number 1 medallion. But it depends on the circumstances, because that medallion essentially, if you don't know, allows you to every 50 seconds it reveals players within like a 50-meter radius of you for 15 seconds. So you can see where all the players are, and in endgame that is incredibly strong. Like the ability to see where anyone is, grab free refreshes on anyone down below, get extra materials from that. So good. So I think like we've already seen coming globals, so many of the best teams, Peterbot and Poyo, I think Swizz and Vanyax as well, are already looking to 50-50 fight for that at the raft. So I think that's something we're definitely going to be looking out for come globals regardless.
Yeah, that spot will be hotly contested in everything you play this season because it is just so good. As much as Reese and I won't be there, unfortunately. The good players will be. So if you fancy that, be sure to go for that. Yeah, I mean, it is really super strong as well. I mean, I think the Mysterio one as well at Doomstat is an interesting one that I think gets maybe slept on because again, the ability to sort of go invisible for periods of times in an end game, like could get really cheesy and really fun in many ways. Like we could see some like really cool clips of people making plays with that. Again, it won't be me, probably. Maybe. Who knows? We'll let you know. Maybe. Depends on how I'm feeling that day.
In other news as well here with FNCom, obviously Chapter 5 Season 4, most cash prize tournaments now going to require an account level at least 350 or higher to participate. Other tournaments require an account level of 50 or higher. I guess this is good news because it ensures the right people are going through and competing in these competition series.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said earlier you really struggle to get into a tournament. Maybe this is going to make it harder for you. So maybe you're one of those people that should be getting kept out, and maybe this is going to help you.
No, let's let Adam in. Man. Let's let Adam in. Adam's good. Adam's good. We'll let Adam play. I mean, it's a positive. I think we saw the reaction from the community. Everybody was super excited about this because you want to go into every tournament, knowing you're with the right people in there. So I think it's a great thing. I think people will be happy about it, and yeah, hopefully we can feel the effect of it come through positive.
I felt a positive effect because of you guys being on the show tonight. I've loved it. It's been so good to see you, honestly. And Chapter 5 Season 4 is out there. We massively encourage you guys to go and check it out. Enjoy the different comp modes that you guys can take part in, whether you're kind of someone who's kind of been thinking about it for a while, just hopping in. This is your time to do that. There's loads of different ways to do that. Champion Road and otherwise. It's a great time. And also, don't forget, tickets to globals, fn.gg/tickets. It's your chance to be there in person in a few weeks' time. From us, it's been amazing. Reese, Levin asked you where we can find you guys online. Reese, where can we find you on the internet?
I got great branding, so it's Resub on every social you could possibly imagine.
Easy.
Yeah, mine is 11-2K. Someone forgot my 2K today, unfortunately. So if you didn't know where to find me, it is 11-2K.
11-2K. I'm Adam Savage. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy yourselves out there. It's a brilliant time to be a Fortnite player, and we look forward to seeing you again on the Drop Top real soon. Until then, take care. We'll see you on on the Battle Pass.